Right, so here we go. Next one is about the question that pops up right now within Real Madrid and was made by Jose Luis Sanchez in El Chiringuito. Erling Haaland or Kylian Mbappe for 2024? Which one should we pick in the future? So, of course, this is not a very easy question, right? Right now that we know, or we've just learned, Kylian Mbappe have a contract with Paris Saint-Germain until 2024. Now it is a very difficult, should it be difficult though, because after what Kylian Mbappe did to Real Madrid, we shouldn't have any doubt about we should go ahead and try to sign Erling Haaland way ahead of Kylian Mbappe, right? But the problem is, again, soccer-wise. Every time you have to find the best players for your club, it is pretty obvious you cannot go by feelings, right? You cannot go by feelings and say, no, now I love more the Erling Haaland because Mbappe is a traitor, is a bad person, is a bad player, whatever. No, if he is still performing at a top level, Florentino Perez has to go ahead and try to sign him. I'm okay with that. I don't like it, I hate that, but it is true. If you really want to see Kylian Mbappe because he's performing at a very top level, then there's no other way for you to there's no other way. There's no other option, and you have to go and try to sign Kylian Mbappe just for that reason, right? If he is one of the best players in the world at that moment, then you have to go ahead and press the pedal to the metal, go all in and try to sign the player just because it's not good for you, but it's good for Real Madrid. And that's it. If you are the president of Real Madrid, it is pretty obvious you have to look for the best of the team, for the best of the institution, not for the best of you, right? So if you are assuming that you have to do that in that way, there's no question you have to go there, right? You have to go and sign Kylian Mbappe. But, of course, if this means to forget about Erling Haaland, then my opinion is don't do that. Do not go and try to sign Kylian Mbappe, because to me right now, the best option for Real Madrid, now that we have two, Vinicius Jr. and Rodrigo Goes, we should go ahead and sign Erling Haaland, not Kylian Mbappe. And the reason for that is because you already have players that can play in the wings, but what you don't have is a number 9 striker position, replacement for Karim Benzema, right? You already have to Karim Benzema, but what about tomorrow when you don't have to Karim Benzema to play in that position and you have to find another player for that position? That is when all the question will pop up, right? So let's see, I don't know, but to me, the decision is pretty clear. I would go to sign Erling Haaland instead of Kylian Mbappe. But if we can make it, we should go and try to sign both of them. And the reason for that is because we have to have competition for every single position in Real Madrid. But let's see what happens, because this is a pretty obvious, difficult question, right? Another thing very important is about Camavinga, Tchouaméni, and Modric, because they are the expected midfield for tomorrow. We've been talking about this. They should start, or they might start tomorrow against Leipzig. And the reason for that is because we are playing the champions. The good news to me, I think it's a very good choice by Carlo Ancelotti if this is going to happen, because Eduard Camavinga has to gain confidence in the Champions League. That's number one. Tchouaméni is doing great performances in Real Madrid, so there's no question about that either. And of course, if you are playing with two very young players, although they are doing a very good job, you still need a big boss, right? And the big boss is, of course, Luka Modric. Luka Modric has to coordinate the whole midfield and tell them what they have to do if they need to, right? If they need somebody to walk them through, or a little bit of guidance, I think that Modric is the perfect person, is the perfect player for being with them in the midfield of Real Madrid. So let's see if they perform at the very top level. I'm pretty sure that they will, right? But it's still, you know, there's always hesitations, there's always questions popping up and all the stuff. So we will have to wait a little bit. But my opinion is yes, they can perform together. They can perform at a very good level. And to me, there is no question about that this is the perfect midfield for Real Madrid tomorrow. But of course, as usual, we will have to wait a little bit more. The other thing I have for you all, guys, is pretty much this. So, according to Eduardo Inda, Rodrigo Goes wants to be the number 9 player as long as Karim Benzema cannot perform, cannot play, or whatever. I mean, as you know, Rodrigo Goes, every time he plays, I mean, within the box or closer to the goal, he actually plays way better versus when he plays in the right wing of Real Madrid. I mean, to me, the natural position of Rodrigo Goes, it is, of course, the left wing of Real Madrid. But as long as you have people there, in this case, Vinicius Jr., I think a better choice for Rodrigo Goes is the whether number 9 position or right wing. And between two of those, I think that the number 9 position is even better because he has a lot of goal, right? So if he plays close to the goal, if he plays close to the rival box and the semicircle, I think it's a better choice for us, for him, for Ancelotti, and for Real Madrid to have him in that position, right? Because I think there's no question about how great he is every time he has to play in that position and how able he is to score goals from that position. So let's see, right? Because you never know what can happen, but my opinion is that he really can play in that position, and there's no question to me he can do a great job if he is able to perform at top level in that position, right? And then more stuff regarding to for all those of you who are just jumping into the streaming, let me tell you today, the news of the day, it is pretty much about the contract that Kylian Mbappe signed with Paris Saint-Germain last summer. It wasn't a 3-year contract, but a 2-year contract with a third option which might not be completed as the player. I think he doesn't feel very comfortable. I think he doesn't feel really good at Paris Saint-Germain for all the things that are happening right now within the Parisian team. So yeah, we might see the player saying, okay, I'm going to play 2 more years in this team, and then right after that, that's it. I don't have stomach for more, and I prefer to go out and play in Real Madrid and fulfill my dreams or whatever it is. Now the question is whether Florentino Perez will pick him for the future or Erling Haaland, right? I think it's not pretty clear right now that Florentino Perez will go ahead and say, yes, you can come now and play with us. No, because Florentino Perez really knows what is the feeling within Real Madrid fans, and he knows we are not very happy with him right now. So that would be a kind of major suicidal move by Florentino Perez. I think that Real Madrid fans ultimately will accept Kylian Mbappe, but it won't be without drama, right? So be prepared for that because it might happen. And of course, every time a player tries to diminish or look down to Real Madrid or insult Real Madrid in different ways, the Real Madrid fans will fight back to that player. And of course, that is not pretty clear in the case of Kylian Mbappe. For some people out there, I've been asking a lot of people, and a lot of people out there are okay with Kylian Mbappe coming in, but man, you never know. And of course, Florentino Perez will have to think about that. So let's see what happens with Kylian Mbappe. But let me tell you, this information came up yesterday from L'Equipe, from the newspaper in France. So it is completely true and 100% legit. And so yeah, we can trust and rely on this information that is very, very true. And Kylian Mbappe might finish his contract with Paris Saint-Germain as of 2024.